Chris is the CEO of a company called Everykey, and he's here to explain to us what Everykey is. So Chris, I will give you the floor. Please make sure everyone, you have your mic muted before we get started.
Awesome. Thanks, John, and thanks everybody for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen here?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. So I'll start with just a pretty brief kind of presentation on what Everykey does, our advantages over our competitors, things of that nature. And then I'll jump into a quick demo here as well. And happy to take any questions at the end as well. So I'm Chris, I'm the CEO and founder of Everykey. We actually came up with the idea for Everykey while in college. We were at Case Western Reserve University, and we're sitting around talking about passwords and keys and how annoying they are. I'll get to the problem that we solve in a minute, but we presented the idea for this company to our professor, and the professor actually offered to invest some money to make this a real company. And here we are just a few years later with a real company. And we are on a mission to bring easy and secure authentication to everyone in the world. I'm talking about passwords and keys here. They're incredibly insecure and inconvenient. I got this big bulky key ring. I'm sure you guys have a lot of keys as well. I got hundreds of different passwords that I have to manage. Unfortunately, most people are using the same password for everything. 86% of people are using passwords that have already been leaked to the public. And really, all of this adds up to just a lot of loss and broken and outdated access control. In fact, there's over $2 trillion lost every year due to password mismanagement, password data breaches, and the like. And that number is expected to actually grow to 10 trillion within just the next few years here. So all of this is broken and outdated access control. And today, I want to introduce you to the revolution of access control, which we call Everykey. So Everykey is this small Bluetooth device that replaces all of your passwords and all of your keys when Everykey is close to your phone, your laptop, your tablet, even in the future, the door to your office, your car door, your house door, your bike lock, anything that would require a password or key to unlock. Everykey is your universal smart key that unlocks those items for you. So it replaces all those passwords and keys, unlocks all your devices, and it creates random and secure passwords for all of your different website accounts and app accounts that you use throughout the day, and logs you in when you are on the login page of one of those websites or apps. And then the best part is here, it also logs everything out and locks everything back down when you walk away from those devices and accounts, so they're safe and secure when they're out of your trusted hands. You're probably wondering, and the first question we always get is, what happens if I lose an Everykey? If you were to lose your Everykey, we got you covered there. First of all, you can set up Everykey with a second factor. So I can set up my accounts to make Everykey one of the factors, with the second factor being my fingerprint or my face as a second factor. Really much easier than any other two-factor authentication out there. Typically with two-factor, you're getting a code sent to your phone, or you're using an authenticator app. These are pretty cumbersome ways to authenticate. But with Everykey, it's just as simple as presenting a fingerprint or a face scan. So super easy, but you can still freeze a lost or stolen Everykey. You can go into our app or call our customer service to freeze it. Once it's frozen, that'll lock down all your devices and accounts, and you can still use a master password as a backup until you receive your new Everykey, and we'll overnight you a new Everykey at a discount. So we're the first company with software for all major operating systems and web browsers that does proximity authentication like this. So first to market solution. And today, Everykey works with your phone, your laptop, and your tablet. Tomorrow, we want this to also work with all your different doors. We have investors like the CEO of Mercedes-Benz and founder of Penske Corporation, and a lot of folks in the car industry and smart door lock industry have invested in us. And we're building those partnerships right now to make Everykey work with all different type of locking mechanisms. We even envision this, in the near future here, possibly even being used as secure end-to-end encrypted file storage. This could be even used for payments and much, much more, quite honestly. So if you look at how Everykey stacks up against our competition, typically you got, these kind of traditional smart keys like YubiKey and Google Titan Key, and then you've got some password managers like 1Password or LastPass or Dashlane. Everykey is a combination of both of these. But where we've really kind of created some groundbreaking technology here is the way that we utilize Bluetooth. So typically Bluetooth is one-to-one. You take one Bluetooth device and connect it to one other Bluetooth device. We've been able to really break those boundaries, make Bluetooth incredibly fast. Everykey connects to an unlimited number of devices at once rather than it taking 5 to 10 seconds to connect. It's also very secure. Bluetooth typically doesn't have any meaningful security behind it. And most importantly, and best of all, it's one-to-many. Everykey can connect to an unlimited number of devices that are nearby rather than it being limited to that one-to-one form. So that's my presentation. Now I'll go ahead and show you how Everykey works, the kind of more interesting part here. So first of all, first thing I'm going to do is lock my computer. And are you guys still able to hear me, by the way? Because I know some Zooms are set up differently than others. Can you see my screen still?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I've just locked my computer and I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. So I got my Everykey right here. And when I go to unlock the computer, Everykey types that password in. So it makes it very easy to access the computer. I'll do that again in case you missed it. Everykey just types in the password for me so that I don't have to. And you could, of course, pair that with a second factor of authentication if you'd like as well. Now, when I go to a website like Microsoft here, for instance, and I click the sign in button, I'm greeted first with the login page of Microsoft, but then Everykey puts this kind of overlay over the Microsoft login page, and it's asking me to choose an account to log in with. So I just have my Everykey in range. I don't have to plug it in or anything. It's all via Bluetooth. As soon as I click on one of these accounts, Everykey will then fill in the username, go to the next screen, fill in the password, and log me in. It's really that easy. So very easy to log into all my different accounts. And registering for when you're registering for an account or changing password on an account, like I'm using Amazon here as an example, but this could really apply to any website. Everykey will generate a nice secure password for you. So you can see what that password is. It's going to be a really long string of numbers and letters and special characters. It's going to be a really long secure password. But of course, you won't have to remember this password. Everykey will remember it for you. You can regenerate it if you don't like the one we've given you. I love to use really long passwords because I'm just a security freak. So I use like 50 character long passwords for most of my accounts. And when you click use, Everykey will then type that password, that 50 character long password, into the password and the confirm password fields. It's so cool. And then you just finish registering for that account, and you're off to the races at that point. It does all these same great things on your phone as well. I've got my phone here. My Everykey is just sitting on the desk next to me, and Everykey is able to unlock the phone for me. And when I should probably stop sharing my screen so you can actually see this a little bit better. So Everykey is able to unlock the phone for me. And when I go into my an app like Twitter here, for instance, and I click the login button on Twitter, Everykey displays a login with Everykey, use an account below prompt, and I can just simply tap on that and it fills in the username, fills in the password. Now all I have to do is click the login button. So and I'm logged into Twitter here, as you can see. So that is really that's what we're all about here at Everykey. Everything's very user experience driven. We want everything to be as easy to use, but also as secure as possible. So that's kind of my presentation here. I wanted to be relatively brief. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me, or if there's anything else you'd like me to touch on. Should I just be reading the questions in chat, John? Is that, looks like you're muted, John.
Yeah, I had one for you, Chris. When you were showing the devices that it would work with and the operating systems, I didn't see Linux on there. Is Linux supported by Everykey, or?
We're finishing it up right now, so within the next few months it'll be out. Okay. Most of our engineers use Linux. It's the most popular operating system at our company, but ironically we had to focus on Windows and Mac OS for the
right. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious whether or not, because I thought maybe I missed it. But another question is, what's the range of the Bluetooth connection? Is it your standard range for Bluetooth, or?
Yeah, great question. So, and you can kind of make a Bluetooth module various different ranges. In our case, it's 3 meters, which it comes out to about 10 feet or so. So 10 feet, 3 meters. We are going to be adding a feature very soon here where you can customize that as well. So you could choose for it to be 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, whatever you want it to be, up to 3 meters. Of course, you can't go more than that.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to be you wouldn't want to have it unlocked too far away from your device, because then somebody could get in there and possibly
Exactly.
do something malicious. So,
Yep, exactly.
how is the device charged? Is another question.
Great question. So we have a little micro USB port on there. We're going to be changing to USB-C very soon here in the next hardware iteration. But right now, micro USB, we're seeing battery lives of anywhere between 10 to 14 days right now. So it's a pretty decent battery life, obviously much longer than your average phone or smart device out there, much better than smartwatches and other devices. We're also doing everything we can to increase that. We think the theoretical limit on our battery is 30 days, just with the current battery. So we're doing everything we can on the software side to get it closer to that 30 days.
Now, real quick question, staying with the battery, does the device warn you when the battery is getting low? And so that you know to go ahead and charge it? And
Yep. We will send you. You can opt into low battery emails. So we'll send you an email when the battery is at, I think it's 25% is when we send you a low battery email. So you've still got a couple of days to charge it at that point.
all right. Another question is, if more than one key is in range from different people, would it get confused?
Great question. So in that case, it will give you the option to use the accounts of both people. And we're going to be rolling out an enterprise offering where instead of that, you could choose that it essentially takes priority on whichever one is closest. So whichever Everykey is closest, you could then have it only use the accounts of that person. But currently, as it stands today, it would give you the options of both Everykeys. So if you had a bunch of accounts and the other person had a bunch of accounts, it would give you both accounts. And by the way, you can add multiple Everykeys to the same, what we call Everykey Vault account. And in that case, you would just share the same set of passwords. So if you and your significant other, whoever you want to share passwords with in your life, wanted to have kind of the shared pool of passwords, you could do that as well.
Got it. Okay. Next question is, can the device be used without Bluetooth via direct connection?
No, it cannot. Right now, it's purely Bluetooth, and actually, I should say that's likely going to continue to be the case for the foreseeable future. We actually purposefully, for security purposes, we wanted that physical connection to not transmit data. It makes the device more secure because now if somebody has physical access to it, they can't like dump the memory or execute any of code on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Next question. How does Everykey handle two people sharing different devices within the household, sharing a lot of apps?
Great question. So similar to my question or my answer to the two questions ago, you can have unlimited number of Everykeys set up for a single computer and vice versa, or tangential to that, you can also have one Everykey set up to multiple devices, right? So it's a many-to-many relationship, multiple Everykeys to multiple devices and multiple devices to multiple Everykeys. And it kind of works how you would assume it would work, right? If your Everykey is close to your device, it gives you the ability to log into those different accounts for your Everykey. And then if somebody else, say a spouse or a child had a different Everykey with a different set of passwords, they would be able to use their set of accounts when they come close to the device. And same thing with logging into accounts on those devices as well, like system accounts. So if I'm close to my computer, I can log into the Chris account. And if John was close to my computer and I had a John account, then John would be able to log into the John account, like to the computer itself.
I'm typing this as I'll just ask you the question. So when does the master password come into play?
It comes into play anytime that your Everykey is out of range. So if my Everykey was not nearby, or if I just turned it off, that's an option as well, of course. Yeah, I guess I should show you so the product has a button on it, and you can click the button to see if it's on or off. You can also click that button for a little bit longer to turn it on or off, and also put it into pairing mode. So if it's off or if it's out of range, then we'll prompt you for the master password. Otherwise, the Everykey kind of overrides that. There's no need for the master password.
Got it. Okay. Next question is, what if you lose the key? And I think
Yes.
you mentioned that in the presentation.
Yeah, no problem. It's definitely worth elaborating on a little bit. So if you were to lose an EveryKey, so first of all, you can have your EveryKey set up with two-factor authentication, meaning that you can have your EveryKey plus a fingerprint unlock your devices. So even if your EveryKey was lost, the person stealing it would still need to have your fingerprint, which they wouldn't have presumably, unless they're a really sophisticated hacker, which is why you should have EveryKey in the first place, is to prevent, because biometrics still aren't perfect by themselves. You really need two factors of authentication to begin with. So anyway, I digress. When your EveryKey is lost, you can go into our app or call our customer service and do what we call freezing an EveryKey. Freezing an EveryKey will simply disable that EveryKey. It won't be able to unlock any of your things. It will also lock those things, lock all your different devices down immediately upon them seeing that your EveryKey is frozen. And then you could still use that master password in the meantime. You can, by the way, unfreeze an EveryKey also. So if you were to find it, you just unfreeze it. And that's another way that we distinguish ourselves from other smart keys, by the way, like with YubiKey and Google Titan, a lot of those, once you've reported it as lost, it's gone forever. You got to buy a new one at that point.
So a quick question on the, if you lose it, that I think you mentioned this before, there's what is the replacement cost versus when you buy it new?
Mm-hmm. So the cost, well, let's see. I mean, we could do a special deal for you guys, I guess, but currently it's so we charge $69 for the product itself, and we would charge that same $69 for a replacement, unless you had a replacement plan. I guess I should put that little asterisk on it. You can, when you purchase the EveryKey, you can buy what's called a replacement plan. I think it's about $20 or so, and that will give you a free replacement. So if you were to lose it, then you wouldn't be charged anything for your replacement. But what we'll do is we'll discount the overnight shipping. So we won't charge you any extra for overnight shipping. We'll overnight it too, but we won't charge extra for that.
Got it. Okay, next question. Is the Bluetooth data encrypted?
Yes, absolutely. So we use 4 layers of military grade encryption, the same kind of encryption that the US government's using, that the military is using, same encryption that Amazon's using to send your credit card number over the internet. So AES 128, AES 256, and RSA 4096 bit encryption.
Okay. And that was the next question was, what's the encryption method that you were using? And you just explained that. So
yeah. I guess since this person's specifically interested in the encryption, I'll also add that the encryption keys, because that's a question we often get from the security community. How are the encryption keys exchanged? They're exchanged over the elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So we really kind of thought this through very strategically to make sure that encryption keys make it to devices safely and are stored safely. They're stored in secure storage, of course, once they're on a device as well.
Very good. Okay, next question. If you send the user an email when the battery is low, where is the data kept, on the key or on the server?
So let me share my screen again, and I will show you guys kind of the EveryKey app, because I think that's an important piece of this. Let me just minimize some windows. Sorry, I've got so many windows open here. So here in my EveryKey app, I can see my different EveryKeys that have been paired to, in this case, my computer, but I've got an EveryKey app on my phone as well. And I can see the battery percentage of my EveryKey. So I just charged it like an hour ago or something. So it's still at 100% battery. And here within the settings of that EveryKey, I can toggle on or off the low battery emails. So that data is simply kept on this computer. It knows what the most recent percentage of battery was from the EveryKey, and the EveryKey updates the computer every time it's sending out an every time that it's we call them advertising packets, but and that is what it is. I guess I'll just describe it that way. That's how our product works. It's sending out Bluetooth advertising packets, but encrypting those advertising packets in a really secure way.
Let's see. Next question. Is there some way to make it beep to locate it if it is misplaced, like you can do with the iPhone?
That is a great idea. And it is not something that we currently have, but I appreciate the feature request there. I think that's a great idea. There's currently not a speaker on it, so that might be a little bit tough. We are working with with both Tracker and Tile to possibly become part of their kind of lost and found networks, where and this would be even global. Even if you lost your Everykey in a different country, you could still possibly track it down. And then as you get close to your device, the phone would actually tell you, hey, you're getting closer, or you're getting further away. So that's kind of it's very much in the works. I don't want to oversell that, because that's still at least a year out from being available.
Right.
But it is a possible future feature.
Yeah, and that's sort of the next question is, have you ever thought of a locating app similar to Tile? And is there any way to attach it to a keychain, the actual Everykey?
Let me just grab my keychain, because I threw it behind me when I was doing my little demonstration here of keys and passwords being unsafe. We do have a keyring accessory, we call it. So you can take your Everykey, you can pop it into the keyring accessory.
Oh, nice.
So yes, that is one way to carry your Everykey. We also offer a band accessory, like a wristband accessory. I don't have one on. I don't really like wearing things on my wrist, but it's a great product, great accessory, of course, that a lot of our users use. So that is
okay. Next question. Let's see. In the event of a breach, what are the notification policies of Everykey? Are there any mechanisms in place to minimize this loss of data?
Are you referring to a breach of another service that you have a password stored for? Like, let's say that for some reason I was going to say Blockbuster. I don't know why. Netflix. Let's say that Netflix was breached. Are you referring to like Netflix being breached and Everykey notifying you that your password has been part of that breach? Or are you referring to Everykey ourselves being breached?
I don't know. John, you want to jump in?
I mean, I guess we could go with both.
Okay. So this is another, we're a startup company. So I know that a lot of this sound, future. I guess a lot of this already exists, obviously, but this is another one of those future features that we're working on. And this one's pretty close. This is probably about 3 months away from being released. We're going to be offering, as part of our service, you don't have to pay anything extra for it. We'll notify you via email and within the Everykey app when one of your, let's say your Netflix account gets breached, and we can see that you're using the same password that was involved in the breach. So that's something we're working on right now. As far as Everykey ourselves being breached, we would, of course, notify all of our customers over email if that were to happen. But I should say, even if we were breached, even if our company was breached, the great thing about this product is that all of your passwords are stored in these encrypted forms where, those encryption keys are never stored on our servers anyway. So even if our servers are breached, really, they might get your name and email, I guess. That's pretty much the only meaningful data that they'd get. They wouldn't have all the passwords.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Is there an annual fee for Everykey?
Yep. So that $69 upfront price point includes the first year of subscription, and then it's $5 per month or $50 per year if you decide to pay yearly. But again, you only have to pay that after the first year, so you get to try it out, get used to it, get all your passwords on board, and really use the product for a whole year before you have to start paying that.
Got it. Okay. Is the product only available through Everykey, or are there other third-party retailers that sell it as well?
Yep. Great question. So yeah, you can definitely get it through everykey.com. That would, of course, be my favorite place for people to buy it. That's where we make the most margin and everything, and have a direct line of communication with our customers. But you can also get it through bestbuy.com, Office Depot, Office Max. We're going to be launching in-store with some of those brands as well. We're also in-store in all Fry's Electronics, or I'm sorry, Fry's went out of business. We were in stores with all Fry's Electronics until they went out of business a month ago, which, by the way, that's a fun story in and of itself, just recovering your inventory from a bankrupt retailer. Not a fun project.
No.
We're in store in all Micro Centers.
I was going to say Micro Center has to be the one. Yeah.
Yes. We are in store in all Micro Centers, so you can pick it up in Micro Centers. And then, yeah, Newegg, Touch of Modern, kind of the usual suspects.
Okay. I got another question. Does this work with a desktop computer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really so it's a Bluetooth device. It's Bluetooth low energy, Bluetooth LE, Bluetooth 4.0. So as long as your desktop computer has Bluetooth low energy, if it doesn't, I guess I should put an asterisk on that, because if it doesn't have Bluetooth low energy, you can still use it if you buy one of our Bluetooth dongles. We have a pretty reasonably priced. We sell it at cost, whatever we're buying it for. We're selling it to you at the same cost. Bluetooth dongle that you can purchase as well.
Got it. Okay, next, are there plans for this to be used as a security key for cryptocurrency wallets?
Yes, that's another one of those future features. It's definitely something, especially with the recent rise in cryptocurrency, that's really important and something that we're working on.
Okay, next question. What kind of locks need to be installed for you to be open your house doors with EveryKey?
Mm-hmm. So when we launch that's another future feature.
Okay.
It'll be Bluetooth low energy locks, which just about every smart lock out there has Bluetooth low energy. We're specifically partnering with a few different companies: Unikey, WeLock, Kiwi, Locktron, various different Bluetooth lock companies.
Got it. So we have a lot to look forward to then. You've got a lot of stuff in the works. Yeah.
We do, yeah. That's a curse, and the amazing thing about being a startup company. You have all these opportunities in front of you, but you have very little resources. My company's just 10 people, so we're a small company. We're trying to do the best with what we've got.
How many? Next question is, how many have currently been sold? Do you know?
Yeah, it's just over 30,000 EveryKeys have been sold so far.
30,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay.
Thanks.
Let's see if I have anything else. What this might touch off a little bit of controversy here, but what's John McAfee's part in this?
I love that question. So John, I don't know if you guys are familiar with John McAfee, and given it's the CP users group, you guys probably know him. Guy that founded McAfee Antivirus. John became a bit of a controversial figure recently, but early in our company's life cycle, so about 3 or 4 years ago, we brought him on as a brand ambassador, right? So John was our chief evangelist. I guess I should say still is. He's still very helpful to the company, although recently he's obviously gotten into some trouble, and we use him less often in our advertising and everything, but was brought on as a brand evangelist, and he's a very, very polarizing figure. Some people love him, some people hate him, but he did a great job of promoting our product and getting it out there in the early days, and now we have to use him less frequently because of some of the legal problems he's gotten into and everything.
Right. I understand. Yeah. Next question. Where is the EveryKey manufactured?
Yeah, so we manufacture in Willoughby, Ohio, which is just east of Cleveland.
Very good. Nice to know that it's a made in USA product. Yeah.
Yeah.
John, just for location, that's literally about 8 minutes from Mayfield Heights, where Micro Center is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. Didn't know we were in your backyard there with Micro Center and EveryKey. Interesting. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Chris? Now, who's the crazy genius, Chris or John McAfee? That's what I want to know.
John McAfee. I mean, Chris might be too, but
Probably both of us to some extent.
All right.
Usually, yeah. If I want to prove my crazy genius status here for a second, I just ordered some more flash paper and it hasn't gotten here in time. I was hoping to have some for this presentation, but usually during these presentations, when I talk about I got all these keys and I throw them behind my back, I'll also say I have all these passwords, and I'll put up a piece of paper that has all my passwords on it, and then I'll stand up and set that piece of paper on fire, and it creates this cool fireball effect, and it's freaking awesome.
That would have been nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had some paper here. So
we'll just pretend you did it.
Yeah. You guys can all be.
Okay. All right. Great. Any other questions for Chris?
yeah, a little bit off the wall, but let's say I'm an enterprise and I'm using something like 1Pass or BitWarden or something, what would be your selling point to push Everykey over just one of those password managers?
Yeah, great question. So a few different things. First of all, Everykey is going to do way more than it will do everything that a password manager can do, and then some, right? So we're going to log you into all your website accounts, generate passwords for those website accounts and app accounts, of course, as well. But then we'll also log everything back out, and when you walk away, because password managers, they don't know when you've walked away from your devices. Everykey does. This is especially important in an enterprise environment, right? That's one of the major security problems that enterprises have, is that most devices have corporate data on them and employees forget to log them out. But we can also unlock the device as well, right? So a password manager doesn't know when you've walked up to your device. It can't unlock the device. Also, a password manager can't be used as a second factor. Everykey is a great, in two-factor authentication, there's 3 ways to authenticate yourself. There's something you know, that's a PIN or a password. There's something you are, like a biometric, a fingerprint or a face scan, and then there's something you have, and Everykey is the best something you have out there. So I think that's a lot of the reason. Also, of course, you don't need to use that master password, right? A lot of password manager users tell us like, hey, just having to type in that master password every time I want to log into something is frankly a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, I sort of like that feature there where you don't have to type in the master password.
Yeah,
every time. So
it really starts to add up. It's not like a huge cumbersome every time you type it, but like if you add it up, our average user, this is going to sound mind-boggling. You probably won't believe this number when you hear it, but our average user is using Everykey over 200 times per day. So literally over 200 times per day, you are logging into a phone or a computer or one of your website or app accounts. It really starts to add up. And if you start to count,
I can see that happening very easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So is it easy to set up for the average tech person? If you're just a novice or just,
I'll go ahead and set mine up right now just so that you can see it happen in real time. So just log into your Everykey Vault account. You would create a new Everykey Vault account if you didn't already have one. You would put your Everykey into pairing mode. Sorry, I can't really see that with the glare of the screen. So I'm just pressing and holding my Everykey for 7 seconds. That's putting it into pairing mode. And now I am going to search for the Everykey. It's picked up in the app. You just click pair. Now it's just going to do a quick kind of exchange between the Everykey and the computer. There's a lot of encrypted data being sent between the two devices, but you don't really have to do anything other than just wait here for a couple seconds. And then once it finishes that process, which it looks like it is out of pairing mode now, so it should finish up here in just a second.
That's those Mac computers. They're just slow.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, usually it's a little bit quicker than that, but anyway, we finished the process here, and now we can import passwords. So you guys were asking about password managers. You can actually import from a password manager, even a web browser on Windows. Of course, we have import from Edge as an option as well, and then CSV file as well. And but I'm just going to skip that because I already have all my passwords. You'll put in your computer password, submit that, and then boom, you're done. That's your setup process right there. You can add more passwords in the password manager here. So just like LastPass and stuff, you can go to any of your different websites or whatever, go to Adobe and like look at my password to that or whatever, copy it to the clipboard and stuff. You can show.
Hey Chris, real quick, I was thinking of this. So if you already have a password manager with a bunch of passwords in there, does it have the ability to import those into Everykey?
Absolutely. Yep.
So you don't have to go through the whole process again?
Yep, absolutely. So we have this import feature here. You can import from 1Password, Dashlane, KeyPass, LastPass, and RoboForm right now. We'll be adding even more to that list pretty soon here. And, as a backup, if you didn't have one of those password managers, CSV file even. So as long as you have your passwords in a spreadsheet, we got you covered there.
All right, got some more questions. What separates Everykey from others like Yubico and Thetis? I'm not sure what I've not heard of Thetis.
I haven't heard of Thetis either. Maybe they mean the Google Titan key. That's kind of similar. So anyway, so a lot of those devices, you have to plug them in, right? With YubiKey, you're plugging in your YubiKey,
Yeah.
and then you have to click a button on it in order to authenticate. It's
Right.
really kind of a bit of a cumbersome process. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have the same port on my computer as I do on my phone.
Right.
Most people don't. So with EveryKey being fully wireless, that's more convenient, of course, because now you don't have to plug anything in. It's more secure because you don't have to unplug something. You know, if you go to the bathroom, let's be honest, are you going to unplug your YubiKey? Most people
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to the
That
Facebook
makes,
IT department.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a huge advantage. And of course, sorry, let me just, one more thing. We have all those password management capabilities as well, right? Google, Titan Key, YubiKey, all of those other security keys, they're only going to really do the device unlock portion or be a second factor be a second factor, but they won't do the password management. You still have to buy and subscribe to 1Password or LastPass or whatever. So with EveryKey, you're actually saving a ton of money too, because you're just buying one product that does all of that in one solution.
Got it. Next question. So it logs me out of my iPhone if I walk away, correct?
It's unfortunate that you chose iPhone. iPhone's the one platform where we can't do device unlock or lockdown. So it will do that with your PC, with your Mac, with your Android device, Linux. Once we release that as well, we can't do device unlock or lockdown on iOS quite yet. We're working on that, but
Apple, when you were showing your presentation, I thought you said the iOS was part of the.
We can do password. Okay, so we have an iOS app. There is an EveryKey for iOS that people love, has great ratings and everything in the App Store. That will log you into your website accounts on mobile Safari. It will log you into your apps as well. And you can, of course, use the password manager within the app too. It just can't do that device unlock. It's
doesn't do
Apple's very like.
Okay.
Yeah, Apple's very like sandboxed with that. They hate for anything to interact outside of that app's sandboxed environment. But but to be fair to Apple, they've shown a lot of willingness to allow these sort of things recently. So we're hopeful that in the next release of iOS, it might be possible. And it's already possible for our, I guess I should put one asterisk on that. It's already possible for our enterprise clients. So if you have an enterprise version of EveryKey, which doesn't exist yet, we're just now starting with enterprise, but once that's fully released, which will be in the next like month or two here, that'll be available.
Okay. Another question is EveryKey updated automatically if I change a password on my PC, login or browser?
Okay. So if you're changing the password within the like Google Chrome or Edge or wherever, that password database, we won't immediately pick up on that. You would have to re-import. But of course, if you change a password on one device, so if your question was, if you change your password on one device, does it then update on other devices? Yes, absolutely. So if you change your password within the EveryKey app, or just by going to that, actually, I guess I should say, if you change your password, EveryKey will notice that you've done that, right? We have a browser extension that's running on your computer. So we'll notice that you've changed your password and we'll ask, would you like to update this? So you would have that opportunity to say, yes, please update this password.
Okay. Is that, Alex, did that answer your question or?
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I was wondering, if it would do that.
Cool. Excellent. And of course, we'll suggest a new password too. So when we see that you're on a password change page, we'll suggest a new password so that you can have a nice secure.
And you said the maximum is 50 characters?
Correct. Right? Yeah, we do between, I think, 5 to 50 characters right now. Defaults to 15. We did a study on the like minimum and maximum password length allowed on websites, and that was the sweet spot.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Anything else for Chris? Any other questions? Because I'm sure he's a busy man and he needs to. Oh, wait, one more question. Are any of these studies available publicly? I don't
studies.
know.
What studies are we referring?
John, you want to elaborate?
Oh, is he talking about the study that I just mentioned, the minimum and maximum password length?
I'm not sure. John Cornwell, do you want to elaborate on what you meant by that?
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not a public thing. We just took a sample size of like 100 to 200 websites, went through and found out what the minimum and maximum password length was, and also what the password requirements were for those websites. And we just took the top 100 or 200 websites for that study. We wanted to be able to make sure that our password generation would be sufficient for, in most cases. And we're also pretty intelligent with it in that we check to see, if we can identify in the page, if the page says like passwords need to be at least 20 characters long, we'll exceed that we'll try to hit those specs and everything.
You mentioned before about you're getting ready to roll out the enterprise key. Any idea what a cost might be for the enterprise key?
It's a little bit too soon to say. I mean, we'll likely sell the product itself for around the same dollar amount, and the subscription might be a little bit more, so that we can kind of help the enterprise manage all their different employees. The value of this, I mean, consumers love this product, right? Sold 30,000 of them. They're flying off the shelves. Especially when COVID first hit, we could barely even keep inventory on the shelves. Like, they were selling so well, and like it was so hard to even like keep it in stock. But enterprises have this problem even more than consumers do, right? They're the ones losing most of that money, that $2 trillion per year. And they have all kinds of problems, like their employees having to, create their own passwords, know what those passwords are. Employees, they're not perfect people. They might get phished. They might be socially engineered. They might even maliciously sell their passwords. Believe it or not, 27% of people out there are willing to sell their passwords to a third party. So anyway, I think there's more value to a corporation and more features that we need to offer them too. So we'll be charging a little bit more for those features, but we haven't really solved that problem, solved the pricing yet. But if anybody here works for or is in charge of an enterprise that could, find value in Everykey, definitely feel free to touch base with me offline. I'd love to chat with you, and at very least, not necessarily even to sell you on the idea of Everykey. I'd love to just hear what an enterprise would use Everykey for. I'd love to just kind of hear your thoughts on the use case that you might have.
Yeah, definitely. Good. Okay. Anybody else? Any more questions for Chris? We had a lot of good questions, and I think Chris was able to answer the majority of those for us.
That was great.
Yeah, so I'm going to call for any last minute questions here. And if not, we're going to let Chris go. We do have, Chris was gracious enough to send us one to raffle off tonight. So we'll be doing that right after he finishes his presentation. And this will only be available to members of the CP user group club. If you are a guest, unfortunately, you will not be eligible to win the Everykey tonight. So we thank Chris for providing that raffle item for us. And Chris, you have any last minute comments before we let you go?
No, I'm just gonna close off saying thank you guys for having me. I put my name and email in the chat. You know what? I guess I'm also going to share with you guys a discount code. So let me just put that in the chat.
That would be great too. Yes, we appreciate that.
So this discount code that I just put in the chat will get you 20% off of an Everykey if you're interested in picking up an Everykey. And yeah, feel free to use that discount code to buy multiple too if you want your friends and family.
So kind of just to reiterate, $69 up front for that gets you 1 year, and then after that it's $60 a year for the subscription, right?
Yeah, correct. Let me see if I can just generate really quick. I'm going to try to get you guys even better offer. Everykey.com. I think we have a way to offer a.
Can the guests that are online with us tonight that aren't part of our club, can they take advantage of the discount?
Absolutely, yes, please do.
Very good. We appreciate you doing that for us.
Sure. Give me just one. Here we go. Okay, cool. So use this URL. So feel free to use that discount code, the discount 20 discount code, but click that new URL that I just put in there. That will actually give you a $49 price point. So you'll be at a $49 price point. Plus you can use the discount code to get an additional 20% off.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Money with that.
That makes it even sweeter. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So, all right. Okay. Last call for any last minute questions. If not, we're going to let Chris go. Anybody? Nope, I think that's it. Okay, good. Well, Chris, hey, appreciate your time. And if you ever want to come back, let us know. If you have anything new to share with us, just reach out to me. You have my email address, and we'll be happy to have you come back on. And if you have anything new to share with us, okay?
Well, thank you for that invitation. I will definitely take you up on it. And thank you for having me again.
Yep, very good, Chris. Thank you very much.
See you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, that was a very enlightening presentation. Hope you all enjoyed that. Mike, are you getting the number generator ready?
Yeah, give me a second here, get it ready.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and raffle this off. It's very tiny. I'm gonna the box. It's only about maybe, I'd say less than 2 inches. Less than 2 inches long. So, but we'll get this out to you. If you're the winner, please put your mailing address in the chat for me, and we'll get this shipped out to you. So, and I think it has advantages over like he mentioned, and I'm not bashing the other security keys, but like he said, you know, if you have to walk away, you have to unplug the other keys that are physically plugged into the device versus it being Bluetooth, you know, where you can just, you don't have to worry about plugging or unplugging anything into your devices. It's just all done over the Bluetooth connection. So, Madeline, it says at the very end there, Madeline, it's after the equal sign, it says lowercase s and the number 5. And I don't know whether that is an L or a capital I. Does anybody know what that is on the URL that Chris put in there on the second link?
I get a 403 forbidden error when I click on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoops. Okay, Chris, I'll have to reach out to him. I'll reach out to him and find out what's going on there. And then when I find out, for the folks that are up in Canada, I'll just send the correct URL to Hugh, and then he can share it with his members. Does that sound good?
Yes, marvelous.
Okay.
Go on, I'm ready.
All right. So
I'm going to share a screen, generate the number.
yeah, you generate the number and
I'll
then
paste it in the chat, and then you have the list of names. You can read off who wins. Okay.
yep, I'll go ahead and share after you put the number in there. I'll share with.
All right. Can everybody see the screen or not?
Let's see. Yep, I see the screen.
All right. I'm going to calculate the number. All right. Here's the numbers. And, you know, you start from the top, go to the right, John, and just, you know, count down. Well, number 10 should be the winner unless they're not here. So.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So here, let me paste this.
So the first
number is 10. So whoever number 10 is.
Okay. All right. So let me.
If not, it would be 38. You know.
Okay. So number 10, Madeline Friedman is the winner tonight of the Everykey.
And she is on, right? Yes.
She is here. Yes.
So she wins.
Let me just go ahead and stop sharing your
All right. Hang on a minute.
screen, Mike, so I can go back and show everybody.
Definitely here.
Definitely there. She's just not, she didn't try to fool us. She didn't walk away. And
And all the numbers are in the chat there if anyone wants to see what they were.
okay. So you're done sharing, Mike? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Ooh, come on. All right. So just so you know, number 10 right there, Madeline, she's our winner. So congratulations to Madeline, and we'll get that. If you want to put your mailing address, do it privately, Madeline, just to me. in the chat. Just put your mailing address and we'll get that out to you. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Very good. Okay. We will take a short break here and then we'll continue on with some more presentations from some of our members and we'll go from there. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I'll send him a email about that URL that he sent there. So I guess he obviously didn't check it, but that was actually a pretty good deal. If he was going to get 49, then you're going to get another, what, 20%. So another $10. It's going to take you down to like $39 for that. So, but anyway.
That looks
Very
like a
good.
lowercase L.
I'm sorry.
Peter has put that's a lowercase L in the link.
Oh, it is lowercase. Does anybody want to try that and see if it makes a difference? Although you would think he would have had the right.
If you
Didn't
click
work.
on,
It didn't
if you
work
click-
if I just clicked on it, so I'm not sure how it would help.
Yeah.
I clicked right on it. It doesn't, it's error code.
Yeah, I
Yes.
copied and pasted into a browser URL. It doesn't
Right.
work.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll get it. Yeah. Don't go
Great
ahead and
job.
order that yet until we get you the right thing, because that's actually a pretty good deal if you can
Yeah.
get it for, normally 69 for 39. So yeah, just hang tight with that. Like I said, once I get the correct URL from Chris, I'll share it with our group and I'll send a email to Hugh and then he can share it with his group. So, okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break here, maybe like 5 minutes, and then we'll start back in with our presentations. Did everybody enjoy that? I thought it was a very informative presentation by Chris, and he was able to do a live demo of how it worked and everything. So sounds like it's a nice product. So
Good presentation.
I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else did. So
Yes.
okay, so short break. Come back. We'll do some more presentations. So go get a coffee, go get a drink or something, and take a bathroom break, and then we'll be back in a few minutes. All right. See you in a few. Okay, we're back. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, very good, very good. I want to apologize again to our Canadian guests about the issue with being locked out there. I had a setting on Zoom that I thought said North America, allow North America, but block everybody else. And here it was just US and block everybody else. So my apologies for that. I have a question for the Canadian folks. Do you have any Micro Center stores up in Canada?
Not that I'm aware of.
No? Okay.
We have Best Buy up here. I don't know if they carry any of them.
Well, if you ever get a chance, if you're ever down in the States and you get a chance to visit a Micro Center store, it blows Best Buy out of the water. It's like it's like
nerd heaven.
it's like Best Buy on steroids. I mean, they've got every blessed piece of technology in that store that you can ever think about. It's crazy. We were just up at the Cleveland store here last week, and we had a good time. So if you ever get a chance, stop into one of those stores if you're down. If you're ever allowed down in the States. Or are you able to travel from Canada to the US?
Yes.
No.
The border.
But we won't let you up here.
I know. What's up with that?
They don't
risky.
want COVID.
I don't think we can cross the border either.
No, we can't.
Oh,
No.
you can't?
No.
Cannot. Okay. May 21st. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but they keep extending that anyway.
Yeah, I know. It gets close to May 21st, and they'll extend it another month. So, okay. Let's see. John Cornwell, do you have one you want to do first, or?
Yeah, I'll do BitWarden Secure Send here.
Okay. So John's going to talk about BitWarden Secure Send. BitWarden is a password manager, but he's got another angle to that he wants to show you. So we'll give it over to John Cornwell, and he can tell us a little bit about BitWarden Secure Send.
Yep, give me 1 second to share. All right, everybody can see that?
Yep.
So this is BitWarden Secure Send, and like John mentioned, BitWarden is a password manager, and a meeting or two ago covered on how to set that up. If anyone needs help with that, please reach out to me, and I'll, if anyone's using that or wants to use that, I'll help you along on this. But this is a feature built into that, and BitWarden, the password manager, is available on all operating systems and mobile devices. It's also available as a add-on in your browsers. So this is pretty much anyone can use this. Linux users can use this. Mac, Windows, everyone's good for this. So, whoa. Well, that's a problem. Okay, I'm going to go on the fly here because apparently it didn't save my presentation the whole way. That's fine. So BitWarden Secure Send, anyways, we'll just run through it here. So it's a secure way that you can share information using the BitWarden add-on or application. And this is very effective and a secure way to share things like passwords or private information with other individuals that you normally maybe wouldn't want to send over a text message or through an email. So as the website says, it transmits securely. You can share text and files, so it's not just limited to text. You can also share audio, video, or any other files that you might have. And you can also set these files to auto delete after a certain time. You can set them so that only a certain amount of people can access it. So here at the end, I'll do a little demo that shows that I can set it for one time and I'll send off this information. And after that one use, it's automatically deleted. It's gone and it's no longer available for anybody else to view. So a little bit of information. This is for like people in IT, decision makers. 50% of those communications are people sharing their passwords, and that encrypted or that secure information are usually sharing it through unencrypted methods, and that's email, text message, like I mentioned. And what you can do with this is you can set up deletion dates, expiration dates, maximum access accounts, password requirements, and you can also have an option to disable it. So if I open this up for, my family, if I'm sharing a Netflix password and I want to share it with 3 people and I know they've all got it, I can go in and automatically disable this and kind of put it to the side until later. And as I mentioned, also it's available on all BitWarden clients, and that's all operating systems and all the Firefox and Chromium forks that you could imagine. It's also available on Edge. And BitWarden does have a track record of proven security and compliance. They have gone through all the ISO audits and different audits, and I know they're working on the High Trust, which is a health plan security thing. So that you have that backing, that they have the security methods enforce, that you have this way to send whatever information you're sending in a secure manner. So I'm going to show real quick how this works. And I use BitWarden day in and day out for all my password needs. You can see I have my debit card in there. I have identities in here. I have my driver's license and stuff in here, all encrypted. It's all in my vault. So when you have this, and it kind of looks the same on the desktop application too, if you're using like Windows, Mac, or Linux. When you open it, you're going to see an icon that says send with like a paper airplane. So you're going to click send. And, I was kind of messing with this the other night. My dad had asked me what the password was that I'd set up on a router a couple years ago. Different location, different house, and I had that all. So I sent that to him securely, and you can see it's on a timer right there to expire. He'd already accessed it, so really I can trash this if I want to, but I want to just show how this works a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new one, and we're just going to call this, for the sake of this, we'll call this Hulu password. And it's a text file, and we'll just say username is dinosaur. We'll say password is my dog's name's Luke, so we'll go Luke, underscore my dog, and we'll do just a random number string and a couple. This is just for demo purposes that we're going to do that. So that right there will send the secure password. It's going to give you a link, and then you can share this link. So what you can also do is if you come down the options and hit options down here and scroll down, you can set how long you would like this to be available for before it's deleted. So you can hit up to 1 hour. So we'll pick 1 hour. You can also have an expiration date. So the difference between the deletion date and the expiration date is the expiration date sets how long somebody else you send this to can access. So it will still exist in your send, or we'll call it your send vault in BitWarden, but it won't be deleted. So you can resend it again after that. But this sets a period of time that a person that you give this access link to can access it. So we'll just for this, we'll pick 1 hour, and we'll say maximum access count. We'll say 1 just for this test. You can set a password on top of this. So on top of sending this secure message or file to somebody, you can also add a password to it to an extra layer of security. They now have to put in a password to get to this link, which is secure, and then get that information. So I'm not going to do that just for the sake of this. So we're going to go up here and hit save. And that gives me the Hulu password right here. And we'll go back out here, and I can copy this just like this. And I'm just going to do this like a normal person would. I don't have it on I have it on my phone, but I'm not sharing my phone screen. So just for the sake of this, John, I'm going to send you this. So we'll go to my Gmail account here real quick. We'll hit compose, And I'm going to go ahead and send this to Jon Mazur. And I'm going to call this Hulu Pass. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the link in there. So, John, I'm going to have you share your screen as soon as I'm done with this, just so everybody can see what this does. So this is the secure link. This is the encrypted information that I'm sending to John. That's the Hulu password. And you would do this with your family, and you can send this if you have the app on your phone. You can copy that or set it up to be sent to people that are your contacts on your phone or in Facebook Messenger, Instagram, whatever it might be. So,
hey, John, can
yeah,
you send it to the Hotmail account? Whoops.
The club one?
Yeah.
Whoop.
It'll be easier for me to.
Yeah. Just to see what it looks like on the other. So what it is, it's going to look like a password portal, kind of. It's going to pop up and it's going to show all that information, but it's only going to be available this one time to this one person that I send this to. So because I set that up for one access, as soon as he's done with it, it's not going to be available to anybody else but John. So I just sent that to you, John.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to hit the inbox.
So I'm going to stop share there. And then, John, that should come through here pretty quick to you.
Yeah, it hasn't come through yet.
Like I said, it can be done on your phone. Like, here, while he's waiting for that, I'll share my phone screen real quick, just so everybody can see what that looks like from like a mobile perspective. So 1 second.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I want to show what it looks like on the phone.
No problem.
Or on a mobile device. Okay, so I think everybody can see that. So I have this here open. I go to BitWarden on my phone. So if you're in here, again, this is just going to be like the same way. You can go over here to send, and you can see it's already synced through my account. What that Hulu password is going to be. It's right here. All the information that I entered in. I go down to the options. You can see the deletion date, the expiration date, and the maximum access account that I sent there. So we'll hit save again there. And what you can do is you can copy a link if you want to put that in email or send it a different way, but I can hit share link and I can come up here and you can see all my contacts, my girlfriend, my sister, my dad, John, you're right there. So you can directly share that link through text messages on your phone. You can share it through applications on your phone like Mail or Facebook, Teams, Zoom, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever it might be. You have that all right there to do that. So it's integrated pretty well actually, and I've been doing it all through my phone. I don't really use it through my browser, but like I said, last night at 7 o'clock, you can see right there, I sent my dad the password for the old Xfinity router where I used to live, and he was able to access that and get that without me just sending it through a clear text file through a text messages, because I have an iPhone and he uses an Android phone, so that goes through SMS, which is a clear text communication method, which isn't secure. Now, not that anyone's monitoring these text messages and stealing that information. It's just kind of that extra certainty that what we were sending is secure. So let me stop sharing here. John, you can pull up just to see what it looks like.
Yeah, give me a second here. I'm having a sneezing attack.
Oh, great.
Okay. All right, so there it is there. Now, do you want me to click on that link?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't already, right?
What's that?
Did you already click on it?
I did. There it is.
Okay. So this is what you're going to see. And he's the only one that can use this one time. And then after that, you can see it expires at 9:46, which is in a little under an hour. And I mean, that's it. You can customize how many people you want to get this. You can customize who you're sending this to, how many access accounts you're going to allow. The deletion is going to be straight from your send account, so it'll be gone, or you can just do a deletion, which makes it that it's still available to you, but not available to others who might have had prior access. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. If you're using BitWarden already, that's a feature you can now use. And if you're not already using BitWarden or not using a password manager at all, I would highly recommend that you do. I always recommend BitWarden. I've been using it for years, but obviously pick whatever you like the best. But I always recommend BitWarden to everybody. So,
Hey, John, real quick, what do you, just to get since you're our security guru here in the club, what was your take on the Everykey?
I thought it was great. I was trying not to go overboard with some of my questions because I was asking him like what the encryption methods were, and then I was like asking on an enterprise level. And then I kind of asked about the they did the study, and that kind of I was going to ask for white papers, because a lot of companies publish white papers or like use case scenarios and stuff, but I didn't want to hold them over anymore. I didn't want to go that hardcore.
It sounds like but he said they only have a staff of 10. So
yeah, no. I mean, they're using military grade encryption methods.
Right.
So, I mean, I would, if we get the proper discounts, I'll probably buy one.
Right. Well, you know what, just so you know, I just emailed him. So hopefully before the meeting's over, we'll have a better URL for that second one that he sent. So
Alex from Durham asked if I'm using the paid or the free version. Alex, there's not a huge difference between BitWarden's paid or free version. If you go on their website, you can see the differences. You're totally fine just using the free version. You're not going to miss out on anything.
Yeah, you've always recommended the free version.
I always recommend the free version. I mean, if you want to, the paid version for individuals, they make all of their money off the enterprise accounts. They're not making money off of like individual users or family users, because what you're going to pay yearly for that is just going to be a couple bucks. I think it's like $2 or $3 or something a month for the paid version. And all you're getting is like extra storage for like a file vault. The free version, I 100% would recommend above the paid version, because you're not missing out on anything.
Okay.
So I have a question. I have a question for everybody that's on tonight. Does anybody else use a security key similar to Everykey, like a Yubico, or what's the other one, John? Is there another one? Does Google have one?
There's Static and Titan.
Yeah. Does anybody else use a password key or a security key?
Nope.
No, nobody.
I used to use one at work, and it was more or less a two-factor authorization thing. You tried to log in and it would ask you for the code off the fob. So it wasn't as advanced as Everykey, but it still worked.
Yeah. But like if you walked away, Mark, you had to do what Chris was saying. You'd had to take the key out of the machine or the device, or.
Yeah, they had us using two different ones. The first ones we used were where you plug it in, and when it needed the key, it would go to the device and get it. The later ones were disconnected from the machine, and you had to press the big button, and it gave you a 4-digit code.
I see. Okay. You don't know what brand that was or what?
I'll probably remember at 2:00 in the morning.
Okay. Send me a text.
Alex, do you have anything to add to that? I thought I heard.
No, I wasn't commenting on anything. I appreciate the answer.
Okay.
I was going to try BitWarden, and maybe we would talk about it at our next Linux meeting, but you've already explained enough that I'm happy with that.
If you would like somebody to do a full presentation on BitWarden your next meeting, I will volunteer myself.
Okay.
I've been using it for it's probably going on 5 years now.
Yeah.
To the point that I've mentioned to a couple people from BitWarden they should probably be paying me as much as I talk about them. But I rarely will stand up for a product if I don't 100% believe in it, and I 100% think that BitWarden. I think everybody should have BitWarden. And if you don't want to use BitWarden, you should look into another password manager if you're not already using one. And I don't mean the ones that are just built in to your browser, like Firefox and Chrome have that ability to save passwords. Those aren't the same encryption methods. Those aren't secure the same way that these password managers are. And not to involve too much, but my job, I am in cybersecurity and that. So I have the research knowledge and the background that I, when I look at something, I know what to look at and recommend. So I do 100% BitWarden.
Well, if you're interested in talking at our next meeting, just drop your email in the chat for me and I'll make a note of it and send you information.
Will do.
He's our BitWarden evangelist. Hey, John, speaking of security, you want to mention that real quick about the Geico thing real quick?
Yeah, I didn't actually have it up yet, but that's okay. Let me grab it real quick.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It'll take me 1 second.
We were talking security.
So I think it's been in the news. Probably a lot of people see it already. It actually came out like maybe 2 days ago, or within the last day. But I'm not sure. Do you have Geico insurance in Canada? I don't know how that works outside the United States.
I think we do. I've heard of it. I don't know.
So Geico is not just a vehicle insurance provider here in the United States. They do home insurance and disaster insurance and things like that. But a lot of customers primarily use it for their vehicle insurance. And as of yesterday, about 5:00 p.m., they had, maybe admitted is the wrong word, they had publicly communicated that there was a breach in customer information that had been going on since at least January of this year up until the end of March that they're aware of, that involved customer information like your driver's license. So potentially people may have, if you're a customer of them, may have your driver's license information, and that's everything that would be on your driver's license that they might have. And the main threat of this is that these individuals that breached the database that contained this information are attempting to file unemployment claims using the license information. So what has been advised is that you pay attention to your mail. If you receive anything from the state or federal government about an unemployment claim that you know that you didn't file, you should follow up on that. Also, if you're a Geico customer, you can call them and find out if you were involved in that breach, and they're offering 1 year of identity protection to go along with that, and that includes your credit score too. So I'll pop a link to that story down in the chat once I find it, the one that I was going to share. So that's coming up here. Give me 1 second.
So the person that you sent that to John and he opened it, he just opened it in his email. So the person you send it to doesn't have to have BitWarden. If they don't have it, they can still open it, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, my dad had my dad didn't know what BitWarden was. And then he called me afterwards. He's like, well, is this an antivirus? Because he was confusing it with Bitdefender, which are not the same company, not the same thing. So he didn't have BitWarden. He was still able to open that. It's just a local web link that's created whenever that file is sent. It's a temporary link that you're able to open for however long that I've designated that you can open it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I just put the story down there in the chat, and Mark mentioned that Geico originally stood for Government Employee Insurance Company. That is true. That originally was a government-backed insurance company as well. But it's just a shorter story there from Bleeping Computer about what happened. And like I said, if you're a Geico customer, call them, let them know. Even if you're not part of the breach, they're still offering that 1 year of identity protection to all of their customers, because they're not entirely sure who has been breached or who hasn't. They're still trying to figure that out. So, it doesn't hurt to give them a call if you're a customer. I would even go as far to say, if you've ever entered in information to get like a quote from them, you might have not taken them on as an insurance provider. Because I know, I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but I know sometimes in the past they'd ask for your driver's license number when you were trying to get a quote. So I would even go as far to say, if you ever think you've done that, maybe call them too.
Well, they do that here too, because they want to see if you have any outstanding tickets, or have you been charged with impaired, or because if you've been charged with impaired, then, or you've been charged with careless driving, then your insurance rate's going way up.
Yeah, I'd say if you feel like you've had some involvement with Geico, in the last 5 years, I would maybe call them, and just, have a chat with somebody there about it. Make sure you read a couple articles about it, do your research, so because I don't know what it's going to be like talking to them, but I did put one story down there at least. So
Okay. Any other questions for John regarding the BitWarden Secure Send? Nope. No one? Okay, well, we'll move on. All right. Mike, you want to do your presentation?
Sure, if you want.
Yep. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, give me a second here.
Okay. Anybody have anything while Mike's getting set up? Anybody have any questions about anything they've seen tonight? If you came in late to the meeting and you didn't see Chris Wentz, his whole presentation, once we get the video posted to our YouTube channel, I'll send you an email, with a link so that you can watch the presentation in its entirety. So,
John, you see my browser?
let's see. Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
All right, so Mike Ceschini is going to do a presentation on a free program that he came across recently.
Yeah, I came across something called Artweaver 7. And if you just search for it, you don't even have to even spell it right. But if it comes up Artweaver Home, if you go here, it's a program, and the reason I kind of like it, it's similar to Photoshop, and it's free. So basically, you can just say download Artweaver. It takes you here. Ignore anything on the left here, but what you want is the free version here. The plus version, I think, is paid, but all you have to do is hit this, and it'll actually. Don't worry about any of this either. It'll automatically start downloading it here. Now, it thinks it's something bad just because it's an exe file. Just say keep, and it'll download it into your download folder, and you can run it from there and just do next, and install it. Okay. Once you get it installed, and I scanned the file, it didn't come up with any viruses, and I've checked on the web for Jesus, man. Wait. Did it stop sharing?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, why did it do that? Did I click on something? Let me try to share again. Why isn't it? There it is. All right. Can you see this screen now?
Nothing so
the
far.
Artweaver screen now?
Nothing so far.
No screen.
No screen.
Why is it not sharing? Hold on. All right. How about
Now you're good.
Yeah, there you go.
all right. Sorry, I don't know how to use Zoom. No, I know how to use Zoom. I just mess it up all the time anyway. All right. So anyway, this is the way it starts up. And they, if you want to upgrade to Plus and pay money, you can do this. And there's just some information here, but you can just uncheck this screen for future so you don't see it. And it'll go away. And then basically, it's just a simple form of Photoshop. It has almost all the same abilities. I mean, it might not have every ability, but what I like about it is it's free. There's no advertising. I think it's a German company that makes it. And as far as I can find out, no one said there's any malware or anything tied to it. Maybe we get John Cornwell on it to find out for sure, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I couldn't find any real good videos on it to show you how to show it. So I'm just going to go through it, show you some stuff I know how to do and what it can do. And and a few videos are out there. There are some good ones, but it just talks about doing one thing and it doesn't talk about the whole interface. But anyway, if you know Photoshop, the first thing to do is go up and say File, and you have your new or open, and I'm going to say new, and you can set the size and width of whatever picture you want or whatever. I always use 300 resolution just because that's print quality. And then basically, you can pick your background color. I usually do transparent, and I'll show you why. And then all you do is say okay, and it'll make you a screen. Okay. Now, your paintbrush usually comes up as the first thing highlighted. And, here's the pencil size. Now, I don't want it this big circle. So you would reduce it down to a smaller pixel size. Now you can just type in here too. You can just say, I want it to be 2 point, hit enter, and it'll just become 2 point. And then you can come over here. Now, usually this looks like this when you first start it. Okay. This is the preview screen of what you're going to draw here. You got a color set palette here, or you have the color wheel where you could pick. And you could pick the RGB colors if you wanted. Like I could change this to red, and it's showing you that red's gonna be the drawn color. And you can actually see that down here on the left. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse pointer, I hope.
Yep.
But anyway, you can also see it down here on the left. Okay. So now if I have a pencil picked and 2 point, I can draw. Okay. Now, of course, I can make this bigger. And I can draw it bigger. Now you can also change the opacity, so you could make it not solid. You could lighten it up and make it, a lighter shade. And, of course, you can mess with the pencil point size too. Now, I don't know everything. I don't know what the reset is and the bleed. I would think the bleed would be the edge in that, but I'm no Photoshop expert or even Artweaver expert. So I'm just giving you the general idea. Everyone will have to try it themselves or look on YouTube for more videos. But anyway, that's the pencil. And of course you have the move thing. You can move it. Now it has layers. I probably shouldn't have drawn on the first layer. If you come down to the very bottom on the right, you'll see a little piece of paper. If you click that, that creates a layer. And actually, I'll make that the background layer. And you can name these layers by double clicking on it. And you go background. All right. And say, okay. And then you have like the layer with these colors on it. Now you can actually make another layer. And, I'll do this. I'll move it down. You just have to grab and pull it down and drop it. And like this one, I'll just put, red color or something. But and what you can do is you can click on the third layer, and then whatever you do next will be on the third layer. So what we can do next maybe is like we can put text on here. So if I click on the screen, now you get a text window, which you can pick your fonts, which it has all the normal window fonts or whatever's on your machine. And you say whether they're bold, regular, italics. And then you can pick the font size, of course. And then we can pick a color and say, I want green. And I'm not doing this to look beautiful or anything. I'm just showing you how to do things. So anyway, you could type something. Okay. So, and what's nice about layers is you can turn on and off layers or move layers. I'm going to pull this one down. Maybe. Wait, click. Oh, by the way, once you do text, you have to say apply. And then it's applied to that layer. And that's the name of the layer. And I can move that down to be on top of that layer. But anyway, these eyeballs next to the layer, you can actually turn off, like the text, so you can't see it. You can turn it back on. I could turn off the red layer, so you can see that. And then I probably should put a layer where I have a filled color. So let's just try, let me pick something close to white. And then like over here, there is the paint bucket. So if on layer 3, I can paint that white. Now notice you can't see anything else. Now I'm going to turn off the paint can. I'm going to go back to this. But what you can do is it's covering everything. So I can just move it down to the bottom where now everything's on top of it. Or if you wanted, you could put it in between so you only saw one of them, one of the layers. But anyway, you could do these all kind of things, artsy kind of things. In fact, let's try something. I can move this layer up and you can't see the red layer now, but if I take I gotta find the right one here. If you highlight over these, it tells you what they are. Okay, so here's what I want. I want the shape select tool. I'm going to kind of guess where this red area is. And I'm going to cut out a square on the white layer. So I have a white layer. If I just highlight that area and I hit the delete key, it gets rid of that part of the background. And then you can now see, what's behind it. So, different things you can do with working with pictures and that. You can, put a forward layer, backwards layer covering up the different layers. And you have these different, you have the square select tool. And then we also have, and I'm going to repaint this back to white just for a reason here. Now let me drag this layer down below again. We can see everything. And I'm going to get rid of the selection. So to do that, you have to go up to select and say deselect. That gets rid of the selection. But what's the next thing I was going to do? If you have an eraser, this is the eraser. You can pick the size of it. I have it as 5 pixels. Now you have to be on the right layer to erase. So like for me to erase the red, I'd have to be on the red layer so I could erase it. And of course you can make this size any size you want. So you can erase big or small and stuff like that. Let me go back to small. Well, it's just easier if I just type in here 3 pixels or something. Yeah, so what you're typing is how many pixels wide you want it, basically. Okay, let me go back to over here on the side. The other tool is a magic wand. Like if I have the red layer selected and I pick the magic wand, I should be able to, select and pick up that item. And actually, I think if I got it highlighted, don't quote me on this. If I hit the move tool, see, I can move that item across that layer. So what else can I show you here? There's also the pick the color eyedropper. There's a dropper tool. So if I click on that, right now I have selected this off-white. If I want this red back, I can click this red and see it makes the color red then. And then of course I can continue drawing with, oops, wait a minute. I should be able to draw with the red again. I think. Watch it prove me wrong. Oh, I know why I can't. You have to it only wants to do it in the selected area. I have to go up to select and say deselect. So okay, but now I should be able to draw with the red again, anything I want. And of course, if you had the bucket, you could fill areas that are enclosed with red. What else? I mean, you got the magnifying glass where you can magnify in or click it on the negative to magnify back out. What else does it has? It has a history pane here. It shows everything you've done from the beginning. It has if you had something selected, it'd be in the selection pane. You can undo right here. Oh, well, up here you have the cut, copy, and paste. You also have the undo and redo. So what I've done before, if I click off here, oops, yeah, I have the undo, I go back a step. So you see it unpainted this. Now if I go back again, it'll unpaint that. And then I could redo them. And then it's also got filters, just like just like Photoshop, it's got a number of filters. So if I do something like, let me find one here. Like if I do distort and I do ripples, now this will only do the red layer. It does whatever layer you're on. So what I'm doing here is they give you a preview screen of, you can make some ripply motions. And if you like it, you hit OK. Now the amplitude will make it different type of ripple, but this way you can see what you're doing actually before you do it, and then if you find what you like, you hit OK and it actually changes that red layer. Now you notice it didn't change the other layers that I was on, but if I went to one of them, it could do that. Now you could have a photo in here. I don't have any graphic photo here, but you could, and you could be doing these filters on the photo itself. And there's lots of types of them. You can do like a mosaic, which, if you do this, it makes it look pixelized, like, and you hit that. Now say you didn't like that, you could always go back and say undo and go back to where you were, or go back to the beginning. What else do I know about it? Under documents, you can do canvas size. Say you want to expand the canvas size. It's just like Photoshop, sort of. I can tell it how many pixels I want to go in what direction or whatever. If I wanted this to go up to 60, if I do that, it should, I think it does like the opposite of what you think. I think if you push up, it does down. Let me see what it does. Well, it did to the sides, but you just have to work with that to figure out exactly how that works. But it added an extra 60 pixels on the width of the, the photo, just in case I didn't have it the right size. And then of course you could go to your white layer. You got these things, and you could actually take the eyedropper, pick this color, and then paint to fill in this areas that you made it larger. What else can I say about a graphic program? Let's just say you can, you're gonna do these auto adjusts. You can auto adjust the color balance, things like the curve, etc., the grayscale. It even shows levels. Like, I don't know a lot of this stuff for Photoshop, but I know all this stuff's in Photoshop. You can change like the levels of something, which changes the color of stuff. I know very little about Photoshop, but I know that all these are in there. And you can actually mess with foreground, background colors, and gradients. So it has 99% of what Photoshop has for free, instead of for like $600 for the package or whatever it is nowadays, or your monthly fee to be in there, their kind of yearly subscription thing. And you can do rotate, you can rotate the canvas. That's right. I got to, well, see, and then it rotates it, but it was just telling me I had to raster on it. But you can see it, you can flip your photo or whatever. So it's got all the basic features of what, Photoshop would have. And that's all I really wanted to show you guys. I don't know what else to show you other than something most people out there probably know Photoshop even better than I do, but that's the basics that I know.
Hey, Mike, there's a question in the chat. It says, how does Artweaver compare with GIMP?
Well, to me, and this is just my opinion, this has everything Photoshop has. GIMP supposedly is comparative to Photoshop, but to me, this is a much simpler layout. You don't have all these confusing windows that do all these weird things. This is as simple as it gets. I mean, you got just your nice simple toolbars and your drop downs, It's not confusing. You know, I hate GIMP because you got all these detached. I mean, you can detach these and drag these menus around, but they got all these detached windows. And when you go to do something, you always, your window goes away or something goes away. This is just a really, really easy to draw thing that has everything almost that Photoshop has. So to me, it's free, it's easy, and I think it's laid out a lot better than GIMP. I mean, everyone has their favorite program. I'm just saying this is another one out there that's free, like GIMP, like Krita is another one I use. Krita is similar to this, but actually has more. They do more with paintbrushes and stuff like that. But for me, for anyone that wanted to do simple artwork that you do, just like touching up photos and stuff like that, this would be a nice, simple program to use that you can do very powerful things in.
So, hey, Mike, so another question, you definitely can use it to edit a photo, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hang on a minute.
Can you import one? And
Well, I'm going to try to find a family photo here. Who knows what you might see? So, well, here's a picture. All right. This is a game picture, which you can edit and do stuff. Let me see if I can find the, like the magic wand. Now, I don't know how, this is a chaotic picture. This ain't going to work well, but you can click, you should be able to click on things. I was able to draw all over this and do stuff to it. I mean, I know I could do stuff like this. I know I can do filters on it, stuff like that. Like if I want to do that distort thing, you know, you can ripple the picture. I mean, you can do anything Photoshop can do. It might be done a hair of a different way, but it can be done. You know, it'll change it should have changed the photo there. Why did it? Did I do something wrong? Hey, watch it.
did you have to select an area, or was that for
I don't know. I have to figure that out again. Let me see. I know you can do it. I was doing it the other day. So I was messing with a photo the other day. So yeah, it should apply it when I said okay. Why isn't it applying it? I have to do select.
Did you not select a big enough area?
I don't know exactly what it's doing here. Hold on a minute. There it goes.
There you go.
Oh, I should have selected the whole picture. It must have been selecting just a dot and trying to do it to a dot.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can do everything Photoshop can do. I may do it in a little different way. I'm no expert on this. I've only known to this program for about a month. So I'm not, you know, an expert on how to do everything. But I mean, I know it can do everything to the photos. Like you can do, let me undo that maybe. And deselect. Let me reselect the old photo. All right, now say I want to just, there should be them adjustments. Say I just wanted to do a brightness. I should be able to mess with the brightness of it, like bring the photo way up and hit okay. And you can see it brightened the photo. I mean, that's the things you know, it'll easily do them things, but there's other things you can do. You can cut, I mean, this is really detailed, but you could cut this person out. There is, you know, the lasso where you know, you got to draw, well, I got this already selected. Hold on, deselect. You know, you could draw around a person and then you got them selected. You can cut out that person, you know, you can do everything you can do in Photoshop, but you know, you just got to learn how to do it like anything else. And, you know, you can lighten and darken photos and everything else. And I mean, it doesn't have like a red eye remove or something, but in Photoshop, there's actually ways to remove red eye. It would be probably the similar way in here, you know. I mean, there's a there's a levels thing where you do a histogram thing where it changes the photo. Now I've never really learned how to use this stuff, but you see you can use a histogram to figure out how to lighten and darken things. You know, and if you're one of Photoshop users, you know what you're doing, you know what to do, but I'm just an amateur. So, but I just like it because it's free, it's simple, and it's another choice. Like, GIMP and Krita. They're all 3 good programs. So one has one thing, what the other one doesn't. But to me, it's simple, it's easy to install, and it doesn't have any advertising that bugs you, whatsoever.
Nice, Mike.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mike? Did you say it does not have red eye?
I mean, I never saw any red eye in here.
Okay.
But in Photoshop, there's a way of getting rid of red eye, like selecting the area and like reducing the levels of it, and you get rid of the red eye.
Right.
I saw things like, if you ever got the Photoshop magazine in there, they tell you how to do it in Photoshop,
Got it.
So, I mean, I didn't see like a filter. I mean, there's a blur filter, now there's a sharpen filter,
Right. I think Mark had a question.
Okay, Mark.
Mark?
Yeah, you could bring up the histogram and go to the retinal and just turn it down for the selection of the red eye. My question was, is there a limitation to the free version as
I think you're trying to say, is there a limitation to this versus a paid version? I'm not even sure what else is in the paid version. I'd have to go look at the website.
Yeah, that's okay. I can look it up. I just thought you might know off the top of your head.
No, I didn't know off the top of my head, but to me, I don't know if I use the old version of Photoshop CS, and this is almost exactly the same as it. And now I know the newer versions of Photoshop, they got some newer routines, newer filters, newer stuff in it. And this, this may not have that either, but at work, all I use is Photoshop CS to produce all our stuff for the website and everything else. So if you can do it in there, you can do it in here,
Yeah, I was looking for an inexpensive replacement for Photoshop that I could use for my astrophotography.
Well, I'd try it, Mark, because this actually can do a lot of stuff. I just, I'm still learning. I've only known about it for 30 days.
Yeah, it looks like it would do everything that I needed to do. That great presentation. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Okay, any other questions about Artweaver 7 from Mike?
Let me stop sharing.
Hey, Mike, do me a favor. Copy the
website in the
URL
chat
into the chat so everybody
Yeah,
can get that.
let me quit sharing and let me get my chat back up in that. Yeah. You guys back to seeing a normal screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's all good there. Yeah, if you want to just pop that in
30
there.
seconds here.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was German, but it might be Denmark.
No, I think it is German, Mike.
Is it? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I can get my chat window back somehow. I shrunk it down and now I lost it. There we go.
I still haven't gotten a reply from Chris Wentz yet, so I'll have to send that off.
Okay, I put the link. I put the link in the chat to how you get there.
Yep, good, perfect. Okay, all right. John, you have the floor. You said you wanted to.
So I had one or two more planned, but I'm going to save those for another meeting just in the interest of time because it's already 9:30. But I want to talk about one thing real quick. And this is something that I did at the prior SIG. And I'm going to open this up if that's okay with you, John, and with Mike. I think we kind of talked about this. I'm going to open up a kind of, I say private, but I don't mean exclusive Zoom presentation in about a month from now. I'm going to do this, and this is going to be on the Pi-hole, which anyone unfamiliar with the Pi-hole is it's a hardware privacy and ad blocking solution for your home network.
Using the Raspberry Pi, yeah.
Using the Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to share screen just really quick.
Yep.
And I'm going to just bust through this real quick just to kind of go over what it is. So like I said, it's a network-based privacy and ad blocking software solution that you host on a Raspberry Pi device. Now, it does not have to be just on a Raspberry Pi, although what I will be showing will be set up on a Raspberry Pi in some form. You can also host it on hardware that's running Fedora, CentOS. If you have a Kubernetes Docker solution, Debian, and Ubuntu OS, it can run on as well. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to have like a Zoom meeting, at the end of May at some point, where I'm going to do a step-by-step walkthrough of how to set this up. And I kind of did this at our SIG earlier this month, but it wasn't as in depth. And I want this to be for people who are actually going to dedicate the hardware and the time to doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a list of a couple different configurations that you can make using Raspberry Pis or different solutions, just a list with prices. And I'm going to send that to John, and he can send that out to the rest of the club. So everybody has a month to purchase the hardware that they need to do this. Realistically, you don't necessarily have to purchase anything. If you have an old laptop or a desktop or already have a Raspberry Pi, you can run this. It does not have to be dedicated to one piece of hardware. So you can run this on a Raspberry Pi that you're already using for something else. And if you don't already own that piece of hardware, you can get away with probably about $15 is all you're going to need to spend. You can do this on a Raspberry Pi Zero wireless, and they're about $15 right now on Amazon. So I'm going to do this. I do want to show real quick that I do have one set up on my home network. This is what I showed at the SIG at the completion. This is my home network. Can everybody see that? It might be a little bit stretched out. Can you see?
Yeah, zoom in a little bit, John.
Yeah, is that any better?
Yeah.
So this is mine running on my network here at my house. Inline, it's actually on the other side of my screen on the wall. You can't see it, but it's mounted over there. And it's running on a Raspberry 3, Raspberry Pi 3. And this is the admin console for when I'm logged in here. And you can see the total queries that I've had in the last 24 hours are still adding up there. I've had 86,409. It's going to bounce up here again in the next couple seconds. You can see the queries blocked are 21,000, and that's 24% of all my queries have been blocked. And that's for ads and tracking and all privacy tokens and all kinds of things that are trying to figure out who you are, what you're looking at, that kind of stuff. So again, I'm going to set up a specific meeting just for this. I'm thinking like an hour and a half, maybe, for anybody interested in joining. And we're going to walk through how to set this up. I've set up like 5 of them at this point. So I've got it down pretty pat. So I'll have that list of all the hardware, all of the software needs. But like I said, if you already don't have some of this hardware, you can get in on it for $15 for a Raspberry Pi W0, or if you have hardware sitting aside, you can also install this on there. It doesn't have to be dedicated again. It can run along with other things that you're already running on whatever that piece of hardware might be.
And if the Durham folks want to get in on this,
Absolutely.
just reach out to Hugh, and then he can reach out to me, and then we'll make sure you get.
Yeah, they're totally, everyone on right now is 100% invited. That's why I wanted to get it out there now before people start dropping off.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. So, I mean, if I only have like 1 or 2 people on, I would like to have more, because I think this is a great thing to have, especially it's very simple to set up. You do not have to be technical at all. And I think an hour and a half, we can easily knock through. I mean, I did that presentation at the SIG in like 40 minutes, and that was,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, I did run through the installation process, but there's like there's some installation time in there. So like 5 or 10 minutes, but we can be through this in like an hour and a half.
What, hey, John, what side of the router does that sit on? Does that sit on the, is it on the incoming side, or is it?
Well, it's on neither, actually.
It's not. Okay.
So you're not running any traffic except for your DNS pings through it. So it does not affect your internet speed. It's not going to affect anything else on your network. You can use, mine's wireless. It's not hardlined into any.
Okay, you're doing it wirelessly. Okay.
Yeah, mine's wireless. And the ones I've set up for my parents are both wireless. It doesn't have to be hardwired into anything, and it's not going to affect your internet speed, because all it's doing is redirecting your domain name service traffic, which is what does all the trafficking and all of your advertisement blocking. It's all going to be funneled through there. So again, like the third time I've said this, but it's not going to affect internet speed, because that's the big question that everybody has about is that going to slow my internet down? No, we're not routing internet traffic through it, just the DNS requests through it.
Okay.
But it's seriously not technical at all. For real. Like we'll blow through it in an hour and a half, and we'll have you set up, and it'll be great. And you can see it's working. I mean, I have mine up right here. So
yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Not you, the other John.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, let me show something in Artweaver real quick again. I forgot to show everybody what the save formats were.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, let me see.
All right, back to Artweaver. As opposed to Art Miller.
All right, can you see my screen or not?
Yes.
Okay. If you go up to File and Save As, the only thing it doesn't have as many save out formats as Photoshop, but it does have the basic ones, which is PNG, which you can have an invisible background, BMP, which is a regular BMP. It has the the GIF and the GIF, and it also has PSD as in Photoshop. So if you had Photoshop, you could, save it out and use Photoshop, and TIFF. So them are kind of the main formats. I know there's lots of other formats, but at least these are basically the ones I use. So, I mean, it's not quite as full featured as Photoshop. So maybe that's what the paid version gives you. Maybe it gives you more formats or something like that. I don't know. Maybe if I get a chance, I'll try to figure out what the difference is between them.
Hey, Mike.
Bring it up at a future meeting.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
So you can save it out as a Photoshop, but can you import a Photoshop?
Well, I would assume if it saves it out, it would accept one, but let me see.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, I guess, right? I don't know.
Right, but usually they do. It's down here under PSD.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
TIFF, you can open a JPEG, a GIF, a PNG.
Yeah. So the same files that you can save out, you can.
I mean, this has a whole row of them here too. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the old formats of some of them.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I mean, it don't have everything, but I think most people work in them general formats, so you shouldn't have too much trouble.
Right.
Okay, that's
Very
all
good,
I
very
wanted
good.
to. Let me try to get out of this and stop sharing here. I got too many windows open. There we go.
Okay, very good. All right. Anybody have any last minute questions about anything we covered? Artweaver, the Pi-hole, any of John's BitWarden Secure Send, anything on this the Everykey that we can answer for you? I tried to see if Chris sent me an email, but he didn't. So I'll pass that along once I get a good URL from Chris. So don't order the Everykey yet until you get the discount codes. Okay. Anybody have anything? No? Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed our presentations tonight, and you guys are from Durham are welcome back anytime. We'll keep sending you the links to our meetings if you want to hop on. We'd be happy to have you, or if you guys have anything you want to present for us, we'd be happy to have you do a short presentation if you have something you want to show us. So, okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Excellent.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Enjoyed it, John.
Have a good night.
See you, everybody.